Right, can you tell me what were the last, say, 5 things you bought before Christmas? And I'm not talking about food or drink or replacing anything that's broken. I'm talking about things you've bought, say on Amazon, on a whim. Have you bought things on a whim over the last 12 months? Have you bought anything that's still in its box? Have you bought anything you thought was absolutely critical to buy at the time, but since then you haven't used it? Be honest with yourself. I probably have. I'm not talking about things that were essential, and by essential that goes for things like things you buy for hobbies, because that keeps you sane. We're only talking about things that may have looked great and colourful on a beautifully well lit website somewhere, and you just thought, I've got to have that, I've got to have that, because that's the seduction. That's what they're so clever at, that's what they're so good at, luring you in and parting you with your money. We're getting towards the end of the year, so come with me and let's talk about New Year resolutions. Many people make New Year's resolutions, and I think they're quite being honest with themselves, and they really do want to achieve those goals, but most of those goals are absolutely unattainable, and I think people know that. So it's like a New Year resolution isn't really a commitment, because you know you're not going to get there, but you feel a little bit more self-righteous by making said resolution. Things like, if you weigh 200 stone and you think, right, I'll lose 180 stone this year, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You may make a dent into it, but it's not going to happen. So you're going to try for a couple of weeks, and what you will do go drastic measures, cutting out everything that's good for you, cutting out everything that you like, I should say, even though it might not be good for you, and then you fall by the wayside. If you drink 15 bottles of scotch a week and you think, right, I'm going to cut out the alcohol, it ain't going to happen. You can't go cold turkey, you'll go mental. You might come off it a little bit, drink a little bit less. New Year's resolutions, we make them knowing that we're not going to achieve that goal. Now, don't we? I mean, be honest, don't we? How many people do you know that make New Year's resolutions and then keep them and achieve that goal? Not many. There may be 1 or 2 out there, but not many. That's why still make New Year's resolutions, but keep them attainable. And this is what I'm talking about when I talk about slow living and when I talk about eschewing consumerism. Just try to spend a little bit less on impulse buying. Just try. If you have any spare money, which hardly any of us have, just try putting a little bit of that to one side and watch it grow, because there's a great deal of satisfaction in watching your savings grow, if you can afford to have any, which many people can't. But just try to spend a little bit less, and that's achievable. And once you've done that, and you've done that for a while, and you achieve that goal, just start spending a little bit less again. And eventually, slowly, over a period of time, you will have given up on the consumerism. You still spend, still treat yourself, there's nothing wrong with that. Still go out and have that impulse buy every so often, but not just sitting in front of a screen and letting Amazon drag you down roads, or walking up the high street and looking through shop windows and seeing everything beautifully lit, because life isn't beautifully lit. Life is mundane and grey and dull hues and dull colours and black and white and monochrome. That's what life is. So we need that little bit of a treat every now and again to keep our spirits up, because we're working hard, aren't we? I mean, I'm not working now, but I did. I spent 50 years working bloody hard. But we work hard, so we need to treat ourselves. But another thing is, if you treat yourself occasionally, you get more of a buzz than if you just buy all the time, don't you? We all know this. It's like anything. It's like you eat a piece of chocolate cake 3 times a day and you get fed up of chocolate cake. You eat a piece of chocolate cake once a week and it's a treat that you look forward to. And we know this, and it's a fact, and we all know it. But it's easier to go along with the consumerism game than stand up against it. It is powerful and you do have to fight against it. These people who are selling you things haven't got your best interests at heart. They've got their own best interests at heart. They're just trying to make money, which is fair enough. But they don't have to make it out of you. Just that little bit less. Just that little bit less. That one less piece of cake. That one less glass of scotch. That one less impulse buy. It's a New Year resolution that you can keep. It's a New Year resolution that everybody can keep, because you're not going to reach your ideal weight unless you're very, very lucky. I've been there, I've tried, I'm a tubby little bugger. And I've tried and I've fallen by the wayside. Okay, I might have lost a little bit. Then I might have put it back on again, which people inevitably do. But I tried spending a little bit less years ago, and it became a habit. And the money wasn't quite as important anymore. Other things became important. Other things will come to fill a vacuum. You take something out of your life, you take a little bit of consumerism out of your life, because it is a drug, it's a buzz. Spending and getting things, and it's a buzz. And once you stop doing that, you've created a hole, and something will come in to fill that hole. And it could just be appreciating the countryside, appreciating reading a bit more, appreciating creating a bit more. Something will fill that hole. And once that hole's filled, it's filled. Your life's just going about its business again. And then you can spend a little bit less on consumerism again and create another little hole that will be filled with things that are satisfying and healthy and good for your mind and good for your body and good for your soul. I know this way of thinking doesn't suit everybody, and that's fair enough. If you just want to go ahead and spend, if you've got the disposable income to do it and that's what gives you pleasure, fair enough. But for a lot of people, we do it, and then for a few people, it can end up putting you in a bit of a compromising position where you're getting rid of that income that really needs to go on something else. And if you can direct that income to that something else, then it gives you more peace of mind. You're not worrying as much about income, about money coming in and money going out. I survive on not a lot, and I'm perfectly happy, because this here doesn't cost me anything. Getting out here doesn't cost me anything. Molly doesn't cost me very much. The hobbies I do don't cost me very much. And you just have more kind of peace of mind. So as we're coming up to the new year, and anybody who thinks about New Year's resolutions, I don't think as many do as used to, do they? But if you do think about it, don't do it in like a glib manner and just say, right, I'm going to lose all this weight, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And if you know yourself in your heart of hearts that it's an unattainable goal, aim for something a little more attainable. Try to spend a little bit less on things you don't need. Just think when you see something and you think, I've got to have that, the chances are you've only got to have it because somebody's told you you've got to have it. The man who's selling you the goods is telling you, you've got to have it. How have you lived this long without this? You need this bit of tech. You need this new laptop to replace the laptop that you've only had 6 months because it's shinier. And it does other things in other languages that are completely irrelevant to you. But you've got to have it. Just walk past, turn away. And then when there is something that you know you need, say for a hobby that gives you a great deal of pleasure, then that's fine. Because you know how I feel about hobbies. They keep you sane, they keep you safe, they keep you healthy, they keep you grounded. Spend on a hobby. And those are just my thoughts on this drizzly wet morning as we come inexorably up to 2025 and another year of chaos across the world. But try to keep the chaos at arm's length. Try to keep it calm up here. No chaos up here. Just peace and tranquility and nice thoughts and the countryside and the smells and the sights and the sounds. All I can hear now, it's very still, but I can hear water droplets falling off the branches onto the dead leaves around us. I don't know whether you can pick it up. It's very peaceful. And we shall see you all on the flip in 2025. Have a great New Year's Eve and have a great 2025. Peace and love.